Thank you for coming this morning. Just over 2.5 weeks ago, Surendra Vaithilingam, also known as Suresh to his friends, who was 38 years old and the father of a young boy, was killed in his own backyard on Mantis Road in Scarborough. After almost 3 weeks of investigation, I'm in a position now to release to you some video of what I believe is a suspect vehicle. The video is playing on the screen beside me, and I have 4 different clips I'd like to release today in an effort to ask the public to identify this vehicle and those who might own it or operate it for us. This video spans the time of about 8 minutes prior to Surendra's murder, and what I believe is an effort to locate Surendra. And if you look at clip number 1, you'll actually see Surendra on his front lawn loading up the interlocking bricks that he had come home from work that day to lay in his own backyard in preparation for his son's birthday party that following weekend. And as you'll notice in clip number 1, this dark 4-door vehicle passes Surendra and has a very clear opportunity to observe Surendra in his own driveway. It's for this reason that I believe that Surendra's murder was not a mistake, and I believe that the persons involved and responsible for this murder planned this and were in the area for approximately 10 minutes beforehand. And I know this because of the cooperation of the local community in providing us with images from their own personal residential security cameras, as well as those images captured from TTC video of a bus that drives in the area. The video you see is a 4-door dark vehicle. We now believe it to be between 1999 and 2003, possibly a Mazda Protege. What you'll notice about this vehicle is very distinct is that there is dirt behind the front wheels on the rocker panel in each of the 4 images that we've released today. We had a tremendous amount of rain later that week, so it's possible that that dirt's been washed away. But if that vehicle looks familiar to you or to anybody in your community, please let us know through the Crime Stoppers system, which has different language services available. Or you can call me directly at my desk, 808-7397. Once again, the suspects were seen boarding this vehicle after the murder, and there are 3 males. I believe them to be young males. 2 of them were described as male with black skin and dark clothing, and the third, who was the driver, was described as a male with brown skin and straight, dark hair. I believe this vehicle is not a rental. I believe this vehicle is an owned vehicle, and that somebody in the neighborhood where this person lives will recognize this vehicle and recognize the description of the driver, because I believe either this person owns the vehicle or perhaps a family member or friend has lent it to them. There are a number of high schools in the area, and there are a number of commercial businesses in the area, which we have gathered a great deal of surveillance video from, and we're still in the midst of going through those videos in the hopes that we can find a license plate.
Do you believe that during the course of the investigation there were any links or affiliations that would make the victim a target?
We know that the victim left his workplace about 1:30 that day to come home. This was an unplanned departure from work, and this murder happened about 1 minute to 3 p.m., so he was only home for about an hour and a half. If this was a planned event, which I'm still open to, they would have had to have known he was home. I'm more comfortable now saying that they had done some sort of reconnaissance in the area. Some of these images are on neighboring streets. They aren't all on Mantis Road. I believe this vehicle traveled in circles around this area. And the image of them passing Surendra in his front lawn is actually 5 minutes before the murder. So I believe they've made a loop and parked the car nearby and then committed this murder.
And they're not seen on video earlier on in the day at all? It's 8 minutes before and that's it?
We have a lot of video. The 4 that we are releasing today are up to 8 minutes prior to the murder. Because we have so many different sources of video, we have hours and hours of it we're still going through. It's quite possible they've gone through a gas station or attended a local business that we're going to hopefully find at some point.
So there's a chance that they were in the area hours before?
It's anybody's guess at
Like
this
it's too
point.
early to say whether they knew that he was leaving work early.
Absolutely.
Now, you've seized a video from high schools in the area as well, and you say the suspects are young. Do you believe they attended one of these schools? Or?
At this point, There's two ways to investigate this murder. We go from Surendra's personal life and look for a source of conflict, and that process is ongoing. And I can tell you that there is no obvious source of conflict in Surendra's background that would cause him to be put in harm's way, as he was on May 30th. The other angle of this investigation, which has been going on since day one, is to try to identify the suspect vehicle. Hopefully, and it is my intention today to put this out to the public, through identifying this vehicle and identifying the suspects, we can make that source of conflict more obvious to us, because right now it's still a mystery.
First video there, what's the direction of travel of the vehicle?
I'll tell you a few things about the video. The timestamps are off. These are personal residential systems, so please don't pay too much attention to the timestamps. Be confident that we checked the timestamps and we know that these happened immediately before or immediately after. And they're in no particular order on purpose, because I'd rather not put our cooperative community members in an uncomfortable position. So they are in and among the same time, but not in order. They have a number on the side. Which one are you referring to? One? That is southbound on Mantis Road, that is. You can see there's a pallet of interlocking bricks out front of Surendra's house and a contracting vehicle parked in his driveway.
Do you still believe what you had said earlier, which is that they drive by and then they park the car further up the street, and you see them in the video where this previously they're running back to the car?
That's correct. I believe they parked this vehicle just to the north, at the very next street to the north of the house, but it's a considerable distance. It would have taken 30 or 40 seconds to run there from where Mr. Vaithilingam lived.
Can you see any reason, I mean, given that they were obviously scoping out his house, that they would park so far away? Like, why walk down the sidewalk?
It's difficult to know the source of the conflict that gave rise to this, and so it's difficult to know what they were thinking and why they parked so far away.
Is there any video of them running? Like, are you still looking for more surveillance video that might have them running past area homes?
I'm confident we've gathered all the video from the neighborhood that we can, and we've got the video of them running from the scene that we've released already.
Thank you, sir. Can you just again review what you have here, talk about the video and what additional people will do?
What we have here is 4 different clips of what I believe are the suspects in a dark 99 to 2003 Mazda Protege. And I believe that they have driven in the area in an attempt to locate Mr. Vaithilingam. And at one section in clip number 1, they've actually observed him on his front driveway. They've then parked the vehicle the next block over and walked to his house on foot and then fled back to that vehicle. So my hopes are today that someone in the community will recognize this vehicle, whether it's a neighbor's vehicle or a vehicle that they're familiar with, and call us either directly to me or call Crime Stoppers and give us some direction in terms of where this vehicle might be right now, so we can work to gather the evidence from it.
Again, just a summary on what the possible motive might be, if you know.
I'm still open-minded to any possible motive at this point. I'm hoping that once we locate this vehicle, that the occupants of it will have something in their background that will lead me to why they may have wanted to kill Mr. Vaithilingam.
Is it believed the suspects knew the area well or lived in the neighborhood, or could they have come from?
Absolutely no way to tell. Okay.
Where did you say the dirt was again on the tires?
Behind the front tires, you can see there's a light-colored horizontal mark. You could pause that, Victor, at some point.
What's the significance
Of the dirt?
Yeah.
It may be of no significance other than the fact that it helps us identify this vehicle in all the different shots. It's unique to that vehicle. It looks as though it's probably a front-wheel drive vehicle, which the Mazdas are, and it may have gone through a dirty neighborhood or may have gone through some dirt and picked it up, and the front tires would have deposited it on the car as the tires spin. So that's actually a fairly distinct feature to the car, as well as the rims. I'm of the belief that they're aftermarket rims. I don't think that they are stock Mazda rims. So that's another feature of the vehicle that I'm appealing to somebody who might recognize it to come forward.
Can you tell how many people are in the car?
You can't. You can see that there is somebody in the backyard in some images. In the back seat. However, we're unable to identify the occupants at this point.
Any license plates on the car?
No. There are license plates on it. Unfortunately, the images that we have released today don't have enough to identify them.
Nature of this crime again?
About 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a Thursday afternoon on a busy residential street, any kind of a murder is going to be shocking. I can tell you that there were neighbors in the area with their windows open, and many of them heard the gunfire and discounted it to a backfire. Didn't think it could possibly be a gunshot. So this was a brazen, and I've characterized it before as sloppy murder. The suspects appear to be young in nature, and they walk right past half a dozen residential cameras. So whatever the source of this conflict would have been, the execution of this murder was not careful. And I'm hoping that an error during that execution will be a clue for us to identify the assailants.
Any indication that it could have been a case of mistaken identity?
Part of the reason I'm releasing this today is to show you that the people drove right by Surendra, and they had a good opportunity to look at him and identify him. And then almost immediately after that image is taken, they park the car and then walk straight down the side of his house and shoot him. They shot him at close range. There's very little doubt in my mind that they knew what they were doing.
Can you point out on the video, whichever one it is, you're able to see the victim you mentioned?
Sure. If you could pause it, Victor. Clip right there. Right there. Yep, stop. Right here is Mr. Vaithilingam. And these two white objects are two pallets of interlocking stones. And as the vehicle comes onto the frame from the north to the south, Mr. Vaithilingam is actually walking in that area, and he bends down to load the paving stones into a wheelbarrow. And we know that that's how he was getting them to the backyard. Absolutely.
Can you tell if he saw them? Did he acknowledge his...
No, there doesn't seem to be any interaction between him. It doesn't even appear to notice them.
And was it his brother-in-law who called 911 who was in the home at the time?
It was.
How many shots were fired?
We have one. And like I said,
Can you tell which
close
part of the
proximity
body?
and,
Which part of the body?
pardon me?
Which part of the body was
In the upper body. Yeah. And at close range, so I'm not concerned that this was a stray round or anything of that nature. I believe this was up close and personal, and that the shooter would have seen Mr. Vaithilingam within feet.
Sorry, was his brother-in-law in the house or in the backyard of him?
He was in the house.
The possibility these could be contract guys that got hired for some unknown reason to do this?
I'm open to any suggestion at this point. If they were some sort of a contract situation, I think they weren't very good at it. They were quite careless.
You're recommending they consider a career change?
If that was the case. Okay, thank you very much.